Shalom, 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 Yasharallah. This is Officer Ahhad of the Light of Zion. I'm the Chief Priest Kahan and Chief Minister Shalamah. And today's class is titled Friend or Foe, How to Spot the Difference. I titled it this way because being in this truth, we come into the truth with friends. We have friends in the world. But when we come into the truth, we realize that we can't consider those same people friends anymore according to the scriptures on how a friend should be. A lot of our friends would be considered Israelites, would be considered our close of kin, our brothers, our sisters, but because they're not following the ways of the Most High, right, by the laws, by his wisdom, by his word, you know, we put ourselves in jeopardy of getting hurt, you know, emotionally, physically, you know, by these people, you know, that we call friends. Because as we get deeper into the truth, our lives start to change, right? We no longer hang out on Friday nights to go out. We no longer eat certain foods. And these things can be such a change to the people around you, to your friends. They're gonna look at you crazy. Now they're looking at you like, man, who is this guy? I don't even know who this guy is. Now they want to treat you different, right? He might be talking behind your back, saying, yo, that boy Asaph, that boy Asaph, well, they wouldn't call me my Hebrew name. They'll say J.O. or something. But I mean, that boy J.O., that boy tripping now. That boy talking about he don't want to go out to the club no more. He don't eat pepperoni no more. I brought him some pizza. He talking about I can't eat it because it's pepperoni on there. That boy tripping. So this is what happens. So now when we get into the word, we see how a friend or a brother or a sister should act, how to determine if they're truly a friend or determine if they're a foe, if they're an enemy, right? An enemy would do these things, would talk behind your back, smile in your face, right? Get you to sin, right? Get you to go against what you, basically the Most High. So let's get right into it. Let's open up with the first scripture. This is Colossians chapter 3 and 17. Let me bring it up on the screen so everyone can see. The book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Other One Yahawashi, giving thanks to the Most High and Father by him. So everything we're going to say and do, everything we say and do in our lives, we consider the Most High and the reputation of Hamashiach Yahawashi, right? Because he kept the laws, right? He made sure his walk was according to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, all right? So we have to do the same. And everything we're going to say, everything I'm going to say during this class is going to be out of the Bible, right? So let's get right into it. The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 1. In three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men. The unity of brethren, right? This is something that is beautiful in the sight of the Most High. Hamashiach said, for where two or three are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst, right? So the unity of brethren, that's something that we hold to be very sentimental when we come to this truth, right? Because in these last days, we all we got. All we got is our brothers and the sisters, right? Right, the unity of sisters, right? It's a beautiful thing to see sisters in agreement with one another, right? It's a beautiful thing to see during our holy days and the Sabbath days, how beautiful it is to see us dwelling together back in our nationality. You know, the Most High is he loves these things, is beautiful in the sight of him, right? Right. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, right? Hamashiach told us to love neighbors. He told us that the love of your neighbors is the second greatest commandment after loving the Most High. And we all know what love is, right? Right? 1 John 5:3, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So keeping his commandments, that's how you truly show love, right? So loving our neighbors, loving our fellow Israelites, our brothers and sisters, we do it by keeping the Most High's commandments, right? The love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together, right? That's beautiful in the sight of the Most High. That's it. That's a unity right there too, right? Because before you made that person your wife, you made that person your husband, y'all became friends first. I'm pretty sure y'all became friends first, right? Because this is the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, right? So it's important to be friends with your brothers and sisters in this truth, right? A lot of us, we met some of our realest friends in the truth, right? Our day ones, well, not even day ones, people who you met the first day is realer than the ones the people that you met in the truth the first day is realer than the people you knew your whole life. Why? Because y'all just click that quick, right? Y'all see the same evils in the world, and y'all, it's just a mutual understanding, right? All right, let's get that in Sirach 37:12. All right, Sirach 30, the book of Sirach, chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man, right? Another word for godly is righteous, right? And we know what righteousness is, right? Deuteronomy 6:25 is keeping of the law. Let's actually get it just to prove it. Actually get it just to prove it. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. And it reads, it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as he hath commanded us. Right? So our righteousness is keeping the commandments, right? So to be continually with a godly man is to be continually with a man who keeps the commandments, a righteous man, a righteous woman, right? Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High, whose mind is according to thy mind, right? So to be continually with a righteous man and woman who keeps the commandments, that's someone that that's not breaking the law. That's not breaking the law to steal, from you or from anyone else, right? That talks behind your back about a fault that they have with another brother or sister without going to that brother or sister, right? Lusting after a brother, lusting after your wife, a sister lusting after your husband, right? Eating pork, shrimp, or lobster. You don't got to worry about these things when you're with a man or woman of the Most High who keeps the commandments, right? You ain't got to worry about your friend, your Israelite brother or sister hitting you up saying, "Yo, let's go out to eat," and they say, "Oh, let's go to Crafty Crabs, right? Let's go to Mr. and Mrs. Crab, right? You ain't got let's go to Daquan. He got the barbecue set up by the Shell gas station, right? He's selling 2 for $3 plates of ribs, right? The best ribs in town. You ain't got to worry about your brothers or your sister hitting you up talking about eating none of that abomination, because they keeping the commandments of the Most High, right? And the scripture says, whose mind is according to thy mind, right? Who sees the same evil in this world, right? And who's perpetrating that evil, who is oppressing our people, right? Esau. They knows Esau. They knows the other nations, right? Someone who sees the importance of spreading this knowledge to our people, right? Who shares the same love for our people as much as you do, right? This is someone whose mind is according to thy mind, to your mind, right? Y'all can relate on these things, right? And will sorrow with thee, right? Whenever you're in a bad space, whether it be emotionally, right, or if you lost a loved one, or life is just it's just not going your way, like life is just beating you down, you know, or if you plan something and it falls through, it doesn't go as planned, you know, they're there to support you, right? Right? If thou shalt miscarry. So this is who you look for. These are some of the qualities that you look for when you dealing with a righteous man or a righteous woman to be around, because that's what we have to do when we come back into this truth. All praises for schools like the Light of Zion, where you receive the truth, but then you have a family you can come and be around who's constantly keeping the commandments, right? That you don't got to worry about them you leaving your phone somewhere and it ends up missing, right? And nobody knows where it's at. You ain't got to worry about stuff like that, right? Because we know that person, most high forbid that happens, they not dealing with us, they dealing with the Most High. And no one wants it. It's a dreadful thing to fall in the hands of the Most High. What's that scripture? Right? Because we know that we're not just dealing with men anymore. We're dealing with the Most High. Slakia. I gotta get this precept. Right? It's a fearful thing, right? To fall in the hands of the Most High. Let you get that scripture. This is what you can tell people. This is what you can tell. You can keep in mind when people transgress against you, right? The book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, right? It's a fearful thing. So yeah, they might make a little $60, $70 on that iPhone they just took, but give it a couple days, give it a couple weeks. Now they car breaking down, right? Now things are getting exposed in their lives that they thought they could have kept secret, right? Whatever the Most High's judgment is, right? You're gonna see it on that person because he or she chose to transgress against the Most High and against you as being your neighbor. All right. Right. So that's why we got to be. But all praise to the Most High. We have brothers and sisters, in LOZ, keeping the Most High's commandments. We're a family here, right? Book of Sirach, chapter 29 and verse 14. An honest man is surety for his neighbor, but he that is impudent will forsake him, right? So an honest man, that's another quality of a friend in this truth. Honesty, right? If someone finds that phone, they're gonna drop that in the chat. Yo, found an iPhone. Whose iPhone? Right? Someone lost an ID or a card, right? They're gonna cover the numbers, right? But they're gonna be like, yo, whose bank card? Whose ID? This is the honesty that you gotta have in this truth, right? It's a surety for his neighbor. I ain't gotta worry about it. Oh, I lost my phone. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up sooner or later. That's a surety. That's peace. That's having a peace of mind. The Most High, He grants us that, right? Peace of mind. All right. 2 Timothy 1 and 7. Right? A friend in this truth, who's honest, not lying to you, not leading you towards transgression of the law, right? Not telling you one thing and moving another way, right? His or her honesty is a surety, right? You can take their word and be at ease that you can trust them, right? That's a big thing. is trust. All right. Right. The book of Sirach, chapter 29 and verse 8. Yet have thou patience with a man in poor state, and delay not to shew him mercy. Right. So when a brother is struggling, or a sister, right, have patience with him. Right. Have patience with that man. Right. Till they're able to get back on their feet. You know, let them slide a few times on the gas. You know, brothers, you be going to camp, let your brother slide on the gas on the parking. You know what I'm saying? So he get it back up, and then he got you. You know, if you're trying to get food, just look out for the brother or the sister. And you don't gotta make it a spectacle, right? You don't gotta make it a big thing like the Pharisees, right? Right? You don't gotta receive praise for that act, right? You're doing out of the love of your brother and your sister. Right? Right. So lucky. Right. Help the poor for the commandment's sake. Salakia. Verse 9. Help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Right. Loose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. Right. So loose that money. Right. If your brother's struggling, if you can do it, if you can help, if it don't put you in a poor state, to help that brother out. We here for each other. You know what I mean? We gotta look out for each other, right? Right. Another quality of a friend, right? Proverbs 9 and 8. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Right? So a friend would tell you you're going off, and if you are wise, right, you will take heed to the instruction. Right? Because ultimately he's telling you something that will benefit you. Right? Staying on point, keeping the commandments, repenting continuously to keep them your mind on the scriptures, right? Which is truly showing your brother love, right? Brother, your shirt is a little too tight. You causing women to lust after you. You causing married women to lust after you. You need to wear a shirt that's more loose fitting, right? A scorner will be like, oh, what you talking about, Hawk? What you mean, Hawk? It's not a sin to wear a tight shirt, right? I just showed you that you're causing married women to lust after you. You're causing sin upon your brother and your sister, right? Proverbs 19:17. Salakia. Leviticus 19:17. Right? Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. All right, you right. You right. Let me go home real quick. Let me change my shirt. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna dwell together in brotherhood, in unity. Right? All praise to the Most High. The water for that. Right? Even for the sisters, sis, your dress is a little too tight. You're gonna cause brothers to look at you lustfully. Sister, you're a married woman. We shouldn't be looking at you like that. Sisters, the wise sister will humble down and go home and change and come back and dwell together in brotherhood and sisterhood. In love and unity. It's a beautiful thing to see it, right? But a scorner would just be, what are you talking about? What do you mean? You shouldn't even be looking at me anyways. Shouldn't even be looking at me like that anyways. Right? That's not the point. We're supposed to be looking out for each other, right? So Khan. Proverbs. Let's get Proverbs 27 and 17, right? Iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. right? So that's all we do. When we see our brother or our sister kind of going off, right, kind of slipping, you know, we give them the tools to sharpen their iron, right? We don't just let them go dull and rust, right? And they, in return, does that for us, right? They reprove us. They get us right. They get me right, right? When my brother see I'm going off, they let me know I'm going off, right? Iron sharpeneth iron, right? That's what friends do, right? They want to see they want to see you as the best version of yourself, and you should want the same for me, right? So I'm gonna help sharpen your iron and vice versa, right? So these are some of the attributes of a friend, right? So let's go into what a foe is, how to identify what a foe is, all right? 1 John 2:4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him, right? So the first clue, the first attribute of someone who is not a friend, you can't look at it as a friend according to the scriptures, is him that keepeth not the commandments, right? So if he's not keeping the commandments, you can't consider that man a friend, right? You may consider him, you know, a friend in a certain way, but not in the same way that you would look at your Israelite brother or sister, right? Because they're not keeping the commandments. You can't hold you. They can't. They're not held accountable to their actions, right? They don't look at judgment from the Most High as anything that they should be fearful of, right? So you can't trust them on certain things, right? Because they don't keep the commandments. The truth is not in him, right? Right. If you have a friend that doesn't keep Torah, then don't expect them to honestly deal with you, right? So you got to keep that in mind when you're dealing with people like this, right? So let's find some other attributes. The book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 16. These 6 things doeth the Most High hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift and running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord amongst brethren, right? So these are the things that the Most High hate, and we ought to hate the things the Most High hate, right? So if you see any of these attributes amongst your quote unquote friends, right? First, try to reprove them. But if they're a scorner, you already know the outcome. If they're wise, then you can be more long suffering and have mercy for them, to consider them a friend, right? But if they're constantly showing these attributes, then you know what you're dealing with, right? He that sowed discord among brethren. If a brother is constantly causing strife within the body, then you know what you're dealing with, right? Let's keep reading. I was going to go on to the next scripture. The book of Sirach, chapter 32, verse 17. A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. Right? Someone who always has an excuse for why he commits the iniquity that they commit. Right? It's someone that fails to take accountability, responsibility for their actions. Right? The fear of the Most High is not in that person. It's not in that sister or brother. Right? Because if iron sharpeneth iron, how can someone like this sharpen me up when he came and sharpened himself up? Self-accountability, right? A sinful man will not be reproved. You don't see the wrong in his actions, right? Another word for that is being stubborn, hard-headed, right? Stiff-necked, like the Most High love to call us, right? Because we don't like to be reproved. But we find an excuse for everything. I don't even want to get into the excuses because I don't want to expose people or expose myself. Because one thing about Israel, man, we can come up with a million excuses. We get creative with them things too. Like you think like, man, I feel you. That's true. Okay, you can slap. Nah. It's an excuse at the end of the day. All right. Once I gave us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. No excuse. So let's go to the next scripture. The book of Sirach, chapter 13 and verse 4. Right. We're going to start at verse 4. Now, this is a major red flag. Right. It says, if thou be for his profit, right, it's talking about a foe, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right. So we more than likely have been in a position where we got taken advantage of, right, by someone who we thought we can trust, right, thought we were cool, but in reality, they had ulterior motives, right, because we have something that they can gain from us, right. It says, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. He will use you. She will use you, right. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. All of a sudden, they don't call you no more. They don't text you no more, right? They might be so slick, but that they'll probably like a few pictures, on Instagram to make you feel like you still one of their friends. You still one of her friends. That was never that what you thinking, right? I'm still dealing with you. Here's a funny meme. I'm sending you a funny meme. LOL. Right. In reality, they forsake you. Right. They're not thinking about bringing you to, you ever notice that they be going out and they never invite you, the people like this, right? But yet when they need some, you the first person they hit up, right? Right. These are red flags. This is a major red flag right here, right? Verse 5. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. Right. So this person who needs you, who wants to gain something that you have, right? They will live with you. They will call you every day, right? They'll act like they are your best friend from birth, right? Until they extract every bit of what they need from you and leave you bare and will not be sorry for it, right? Like, yo, ha. I've been on the phone for about 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, ha. But hey, you think you could throw me like $15, $20? I'm gonna need, I need to do, right? I got you. Next week, that 20 turns to 40. Week after that, that 40 turns to 100. Week after that, that 40 turns to 500, 1,000. Right? This is what slowly happens. This is a major red flag that you gotta look out for, Israel. Right? I know I've been through it. Not being in the truth, being gullible, being naive, having a big heart. Right? But the scriptures expose these things. Right? This is why the scriptures is our wisdom, our knowledge and understanding. Because these things will help us to maneuver, to deal with these things righteously, right? Because in the worlds, some of us might just get so hot that we want to pull it to the person crib and just beat them up, right? Put the paws on them, right? Right? Maybe even put them 6 feet under, right? But all praise to the Most High for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? And He gave us the blueprint, because the devil has no new tricks. Remember that. The devil has no new tricks. He uses the same tricks over and over. That's why people say, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Because I let you fool me twice. with the same trick, right? Because they all Shaitan uses the same tricks, the same temptations that you have. That's the only temptations that you're going to be tempted with, right? There's no point of tempting you with shrimp if you have a problem with eating pork, right? If your temptation is pork, trust me, it's almost like shrimp don't exist. Pork is going to be the only food that is going to be surrounded by you to get you to fall into that temptation, right? All you have to do is be like, you know what? No, the law says I can't eat pork. Let me abstain from pork, right? And apply that same analogy to every other temptation, right? And if you have multiple temptations, just know that same cycle of temptations is going to be the same cycle of temptations. When you conquer one, the next one is just going to come right after, right? And you got to conquer that one. And then the one after that one, you got to conquer that one. And guess what? The cycle is going to come right back around. And that same one you just conquered is going to try to tempt you again. Now, because of that time that you've been conquering the other temptations, you might have got a little weak on that temptation. And that's how Satan gets you, right? He lets you off a little bit. You think you get all comfortable and peaceful? No, that thing comes 10 times stronger, especially when you get stronger into the truth, right? So we got to stay on point, right? Salakia. I think I got off track, right? But verse 5, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. Right? Verse 6, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. So now you're dealing with someone who's two-faced, right? They will deceive you, they will lie to you, right? They'll put thee in hope. They'll make you feel like, oh yeah, they gonna do this for me, they gonna do that for me. And they're using your imagination against you, brother, sister. Right? They're not for you for real. Right? He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? What do you need? What you need? Whatever you need, I got you. I got you. Right? And don't be a brother or sister who don't know how to ask for help, because that'll be the easiest thing you can ever do for someone like this. Right? Right. So this is a major red flag, right? All right. So let's recap. What is the difference between a friend and a foe? A friend keeps the commandments, right? Whose mind is according to thy mind, who will sorrow with you, who will look out for you in your low estate. You know, someone you can trust, who is honest. You know, someone who will be reproved. You know, who will reprove you. Iron sharpeneth iron, right? These are the different attributes of a friend, according to the scriptures. Now, a foe, an enemy, right, is someone who doesn't keep Torah, who doesn't keep the commandments, right? Someone who sows discord, you know, someone who always has an excuse for why they keep going off, why they keep breaking the commandments, right? Someone who takes advantage and use people, right? Two-faced, untrustworthy, right? What's that scripture? Sirach 12. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? So you should never trust thine enemy. Right? So these are the different attributes of a foe, of someone who you can't consider as being a friend. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 18 verse 24. A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Right? And this is all what we want. We want someone that we can call a brother. Forget being friends. I need somebody that I can call a brother, right? Sisters, you should want someone you can call a sis. Not girl, hey girl. You know, someone you can call, hey sis. You know, this is a deeper connection, right? It's deeper. It's deeper than rap. Calling someone a brother or sister is deeper than rap, right? It's like saying love you compared to I love you, right? It's a huge difference, right? The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath the righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness, right? So you can't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. It's going to be hard to hang out with somebody who don't believe in the commandments once you come into the truth. Once you put some years into this truth, right? The people that you used to hang out with, you can't hang out with them the same way as you used to, right? Going out on Friday nights, right? Turning up at different clubs, strip clubs, even, right? Buying and selling on the Sabbath, right? Right? Getting them baby back ribs, right? With that good sauce. You know what I'm talking about? Is it that good Judite sauce, the gold looking sauce? I don't know what they call it, but that sauce is just, it's undefeated, right? No more of that, right? You can't be unequally yoked with unbelievers, right? Romans 12 and 10. Let's get that. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another, right? So those brothers that you and sisters that you obtain in this truth, right? Be kindly affectionate to one another. Honor, preferring one another. Prefer them over yourself, right? Consider them before you consider yourself, right? If you have food, but you know that your brother or your sister ain't got no food, break bread. Break bread with your brother or with your sister. Shoot, if you got it, let them have it. Because you can get it. You can get it yourself. You can provide for yourself, or the Most High will provide it for you, right? But we all have to look at each other like, man, I want to see this person. I want to see this person good, right? Be selfless, right? The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 3. And Hamashiach said, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, right? And we all know who is a friend according to the scriptures, right? So if you have a friend like that, if you have a brother or sister like that, right? They should be worthy of laying your life down for them, Us at LOZ, we go out to camp in the various schools that we got. We laying down our lives for each other. We don't know what kind of people that's going to come up, what intentions they got. But guess what? We stand bold as a lion in the face of adversity, right? Because we warriors, but we brothers first, right? So with that, I hope this class was edifying. I hope that it keeps you faithful in this walk. And with that, I say shalom to the house of Israel.